Hello, welcome to Being Reintegrated. This is Tim Wright. So we are discussing the volumes of Illuminism of Genesis, and I'm really proud of this project. As you know, they are interpretations of the ideographical analysis of Chauvet, and Amadou gave us this method. So I have done an expansion of his original talk given to the folks at Arguiny for Jacques Breyer and everything. I did an expansion of that into the entire 10 chapters of Genesis. So that's what Illuminism of Genesis is. Now, I have completed this entire project. So we're sitting on volume 4 and 5, waiting to be finished right now. That is chapter 7 and 8. And volume 6 is chapters 9 and 10 of Genesis. So the entire process has been completed. And you can publish the first 3 on it, or not publish, purchase the first 3 on Amazon right now. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I'm kind of going to be belaboring the topic a lot. And the reason why is because this is very passionate for me. There are implications. So we can say it as simply as whatever group has used the Bible or misused the Bible, this is going to set that record straight. I know it seems ambitious, but it's absolutely not. This way of working with the text not only keeps its psychic vitality and original form, but it also gives an extra layer of interpretation for those who are trying to find spiritual sustenance and growth through this tradition. So it accomplishes multiple goals right off of the bat. Now, something I was thinking of doing was making this a standard text for seminaries. So I was going to contact seminaries throughout the United States, English speaking, unless we can get this level of interpretive analysis in other languages. I would love to get my friends in France to do a French version, along with a friend of mine in Mexico to do a Spanish version, but I don't know how that's going to come about. Hopefully it'll be the new epoch of Christian textual understanding. We're not going to argue about academic usage of the words anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to look at them ideographically, and that's why it's such a beautiful book series, because it gives me a little bit of money for doing the work, but produced through Amazon, we now have a interdenominational text that can be used. It's an English version, and it has the Hebrew, and it has the ideographical analysis. So it bridges a lot of different groups, including it exorcises any of those groups that use this text for their own purposes. We won't put any value judgments on it, just say for their own purposes. So if there's something to be found in these texts that is part of our human cultivation and our mythology as Anglophile, spiritually minded individuals, then we will be able to find it. It's no longer a hidden thing. Due to the tools of modern technology, we've been able to uncover what the ideographic meaning of the words are. Now, what happened was, supposedly, this is the myth, that in the letters themselves, they all add up to an equation. Though they're words, they were words that were used to have meaning to them. So the ideographical meaning to them, meaning the symbolic version of the letters themselves, add up to a statement. It's kind of a metaphysical statement. There's more analysis that needs to be done. Whether it's true or not, it talks about certain kinds of alchemical states and energetic states within our central nervous system. So it is true by the fact that it has to use language, and language is true. So it uses language to talk about language. So I mean, it gets into a little bit of the nuanced version, because this is just one interpretation. I gave the ideographic meaning behind every letter of every word, and then a possible meaning with all those ideographic meanings. But you can construct your own meanings. So whatever words have validity to you, then use that word, and forget any other thing. And if it's not a good translation for you, you can change it. It's not meant to be unchangeable. That's what happens, is this language is a symbolic presentation. Now, I'm so grateful for this because I'll show you an image. This is the Kabbalistic gates of the Sefer Yetzirah. And essentially what happened is, when I investigated Indian spirituality and what's called Kriya Yoga, I read a whole bunch of stuff. So I investigated that, and I found that there's a mandala in almost every language. It's in Taoism, it's in Indian spirituality and metaphysics, it's in Tantric Buddhism, and it's in the Judaism, along with, others believe, such as scholars, Jesus Christ, Son of Man, or Son of God. They believe that that the languages are just symbolic forms of a deeper esoteric message. So going along with that, Amadou tells us the first 10 chapters of Genesis are that as well, which it's believable because, like I said, other traditions have the same kind of inter-word esotericism. You'll find it in every culture, of every society, of every spirituality. They all use language as kind of a mandala to go deeper into the energetic truth of what it is. So that's one of the things that we're doing here. The other is it's bridging the East and West. You no longer will need to go to Eastern systems to get the level of energetic psychic vitality that's needed in the West. That is another thing. And it inculcates some of the conversation for the new world of interpretation of scriptural authority. So there's a lot of goals, a lot of agendas that are being met here. Anybody who tries to use this text against you and the things that you instinctively feel that are either being questioned or belabored, you'll be able to go to the source text. Not any of the texts ever rely on anything other than these core books in Genesis. So even if we're talking late first century Christianity and the heretical stuff and on and on and on, the witch burnings and all of that, they all base their stuff off of sin. They all base it off of this conversation. Even the ideologies that say they're liberal ideologies and say that they are freeing you from all of this, use this as a basis for their freedom. In fact, they tell you, we're not going to be like that. We're the opposite of that. We're this. And they use that as a premise to build their this off of. So it's very, very necessary, and it's very important. What I think is going to happen is, as we esotericists evolve and utilize this kind of resource, we'll be able to weaponize this stuff back against those who've weaponized it with us. We'll be able to shield ourselves, to guard ourselves from the onslaught of ideology that's being used against those who believe in the ideology from those who do not. So I'm very, very happy to be able to release this full set. If you want to go into the philology of it, of course, it's a symbolic use of the language. If that's what keeps you from liking it, then fine, don't get it. But if you're into trying to make meaning out of the words for you past their literal meaning, then this symbolic version of the ideographical analysis of the first 10 chapters of Genesis is for you. So I'm really grateful that we're able to get this project to completion. I'm really grateful that with all of your support for Kim Publishing, we are now able to do things unbelievably difficult to do in the realm of thought and education, but it's being done. You guys are building this effort, and now no one is going to be able to tell you what is. You'll be able to tell yourself what is. Water is wet. Go put your hand in water, it'll be wet. That's what happens when you interact with water. Well, the same as this textual tradition. When you interact with these words, you will know what those words mean to you. And that is a kind of hermeneutic which we do not have in our religious world. And thanks to the Illuminism of Genesis, you now will.